The global aviation industry is subject to a new and growing type of threat coming from cyberspace. Communication between people and devices, the rise of computing performance, price erosion and software developments are all ingredients shared by all the industries that enhance the necessity to consider seriously the cyber threats in the aviation sector. An integrated security framework requires careful consideration of the security features of the network within an airplane. Potentially, the aircraft could consist of three kinds of networks, namely, passenger network, crew network, and control network. The security protocol implemented must ensure a proper separation of these networks and also watch for any security protocol violations. My goal of this presentation is to point out the Achilles heel for one of the most vital airplane systems, the Aircraft Communication, Addressing and Reporting System, ACARS. This network system is the air-to-ground data communication infrastructure used by most airlines to communicate with ATC, National Aviation Authorities, and their own operations centers. They use ACARS very high-frequency VHF and HF ground stations as well as SATCOM to send and receive ATC and Airline Operational Control (AOC) messages. Depending on where the aircraft is, ACARS messages are routed through a global network of thousands of ground stations or satellite links that cover the Earth. ACARS messages include takeoff and landing confirmation, weather information, gate information, and engine reports. ATC messages include navigation information, aircraft positional reporting, departure clearances, oceanic clearances, runway conditions, and weather data. Fact is that ACARS transmission is unencrypted and easy to decode. Therefore, there are certain challenges in securely delivering the ATC AOC clearances instructions via ACARS to the MCDU and vice versa that must be addressed and overcome. Denial of service to ACARS resources is the mechanism in which an attacker attempts to saturate network resources to the degree that computing components of the network are no longer able to process requests due to overload conditions in the network. ACARS data link mapping in assessing vulnerability and security of a network. Any loose node that does not follow security standards can be a foothold for attackers to get into more sensitive parts of networks and databases. Network mapping is one strategy used by attackers to locate vulnerable nodes in a network and breach them. ACARS data encryption network communication certificates such as Transport Layer Security (TLS) and Secure Socket Layer (SSL) protocols protect network users in two-way communications. Due to lack of encryption in ACARS air-to-ground communications, as well as the onboard ARINC 429 data bus, a potential attacker can easily sniff data and possibly modify omit messages, navigational databases on FMSs, or autopilot control loops. Man-in-the-middle attack to ACARS data link. Man-in-the-middle, MITM, refers to an attacker's effort in relaying and possibly altering data transfer within network components. The attacker intercepts all communication between two victims who believe they are communicating directly. Conclusion: to properly pinpoint and mitigate these potential risks, an engineering team should refine the identified threats and strategies need to be developed and tested. These tests are expected to result in both real and national information security threat mitigation strategies, network architectures for assured security and quality of service, and a better understanding of limitations capabilities of ACARS. A set of authentication and data encryption techniques along with their pros and cons as well as their suitability must be identified and implemented on these networks. In addition, a set of desired security measures including those that need to be implemented on ACARS and their resources, servers, routers, modems, and computing systems need to be established and standardized as recommendations and mitigation strategies. The security of the airline systems can directly impact the operational safety and efficiency of the industry, and indirectly impact the service, reputation and financial health of the industry.